This is going to be a worse idea than the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. This is Corey, and this is the end of the podcast.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rob. Welcome to episode 265 of the O The Anthem podcast, coming to you from the hashtag OTA LA studios. Hi, above the 110 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, California. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for subscribing on your podcatcher of choice, whether that's Apple, Google, Spotify, Pocket Cast, wherever. We're all available there. If possible, give us a rating and review because that helps other people find the show.
And, of course, you can find more O The Anthem at O The Anthem on Twitter and Instagram. You can check us out at facebook.com/O The Anthem, where you're watching the live video right now. And, of course, all the videos are up at youtube.com/O The Anthem. And everything O The Anthem related, you can find at otheanthem.com.
Indeed.
So, yes, here we are. Special guest joining us for the show, and a happy birthday to Roberto Arizona. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Even more special guest, 1800 Silver Tequila.
Which we're not sponsored by.
No, we are not sponsored by them. But
although if they're watching this, they probably should.
Yeah, this would be the
They probably do not want this kind of association.
Irresponsible drinking by grown-ass adults. But just in case they are looking for a sponsorship, hey there, 1800. Next year, you could be your single sponsorship of maybe the 1800 Silver.
I can probably get us some sponsorship.
Shot cam!
Oh, shot cam.
There we are, yes. So you guys can see directly in that there are all of the drinks and the things there. So
for a fan that doesn't know anything about the show, what is this shot cam about?
Well, this is the first year we've done the shot cam.
is brand new.
I'm talking about the whole situation.
We're always innovating. That's what it is. The shot cam is the latest innovation.
My point is explain the whole situation.
Okay. So way back when Rob and I were at Hofstra together.
Yes.
Probably around 2003 or so.
Ooh, yeah, that would be about right.
May of 2003 or 4.
Yep.
We were about to go out to a Cinco de Mayo party.
Yeah, it was the bar crawl. It was at Dizzy Lizard.
But we were both done at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we said, let's pregame a little bit. And I had Need for Speed on the GameCube.
Ooh.
And what we decided to do to pregame was trade off on laps between, if you lost a lap, you had to take a shot. Or if you, were the cop and you caught somebody, you would have to take a shot.
Yes.
And this quickly devolved into the two of us taking, 25 shots each and not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, and then the next time we looked up, it was 10 p.m. We had finished the bottle of tequila that we were drinking, and we were in no shape to move anywhere except for to go to sleep. So that was our very first Drinko de Mayo way back in the day. But not part of the series.
And then we brought it back as an idea here for the podcast, an annual event, the Drinko de Mayo episode, where people submit to us words that we can't say.
Yeah.
And if we say that word, then we have to take a drink.
Yes.
Now, we are not in the game yet, so nobody be going crazy in the comments or anything like that. We'll let you know when it officially starts. But first, we need to let you know the words.
Yes.
So the constants are drink, drank, and drunk. So if Rob says one of the words and I say drink, then I take one too because I just said drink.
Yes. And all of those will be denoted. Those of you who are followed along for all 6 Drinko de Mayos at this point know that the argument about whether or not something was said or whether the rules apply can be difficult. And we found that our most successful years are the ones where we have a referee.
Right.
So Roberto will be acting as referee. His power is
unlimited,
unimpeachable,
almost. Unlimited, if you will.
I was going to say that. I was going to actually say a quote, but probably not a good idea.
So when one of us says one of the banned words, Roberto, what will your response be?
My response will be, yes.
And that means somebody needs to consume some alcohol. So, and as you can see here on the O The Anthem shot cam, we have 3 of the initial shots lined up. This will be the only one Roberto takes.
Yes, because I have to have all my 5
facilities
senses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, there goes the 1800 down to the bottom.
The 1.5 liter bottle.
7.5.
1.75 liter bottle.
Maybe next year we should get the cam down on the floor so you can check the levels as the game goes on. But yeah, so I say we'll just go ahead and get into it. Oh no, you're going to go through the words. Tell us what the words are.
So in addition to the usuals of drink, drank, drunk, we're also going to be talking about Marvel's The Avengers Endgame. We're not in the game yet.
I know.
But that's an example of how it would work. So Avengers, Marvel, and Endgame. It's not on here, but
I think so, yeah.
So any one of those 3 will also be a drink. In addition, we have been inundated with people saying that they wanted to hear us talk about Catherine Pugh.
Yes.
I wonder why.
So Catherine Pugh is a word for our next topic when we talk about her leaving office. And finally, we'll wrap up with Bill Barr's testimony in front of the Senate. And because of that, we will have the words Barr, Trump, and Mueller.
Now, none of these terms are limited to this section in which we talk about them. Once we say go and until we say stop, the game is on and you cannot say any of the words.
Yeah.
For you at home, you'll see a little counter right here in front of me. And there's one over there in front of Corey as well. And those counters will be updated as much as we can. We do have a backup counter down here that you guys, maybe you can see it on the shot cam here. There's a backup counter right here that I'll be keeping just in case, because I don't trust myself to update the ones on the screen as we go along. And we're hoping that this will be the most boring, civil and boring Drinko de Mayo yet, where this first one may be the last one that we take the entire time. So, is it time, Corey?
Yeah.
Should we jump in?
Let's start the game.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, I have not had I don't think I've consumed any tequila since the last time we did Drinko de Mayo.
Other than a margarita here and there.
Yeah. Everyone's got that one liquor that reminds you of the time you almost died. This is me. This should be Corey, too, because if you go back to episode 1, you'll see he actually almost died.
All right.
And big thanks to Roxanne Cruz for our skull.
Sponsoring, the skull.
Just to remind us that we are all about to die. So, all right.
Sláinte.
Salud.
Sláinte. Oh, Jesus. How do you
really
even drink out of this thing?
Oi, oi.
All right. The game is afoot. Every year I hate myself more and more.
I already regret this decision.
I'm not even drinking and I don't like this. Oh.
Oh, man. I was going to say hit the thing, but then I realized you're not playing. You're just refereeing.
I am just refereeing, yes. That is why I have the liberty to say any of the keywords
Any of the words
to
you
throw
want.
you off.
Yeah, don't intentionally try and throw us off either. That would be, quite evil.
Of course not.
All right. Topic 1.
I forgot how much I hate my life.
You still haven't downed the whole thing. Come on.
When it hit my throat, I was reminded.
Memories, flashbacks.
You're reminded that you just ate Shake Shack not too long ago.
I quit. I'm done.
You started having like flashbacks. Your whole life just went by.
Yeah. Laying in a field. I'm about to die.
All right. Now the game is afoot.
All right.
Game is afoot.
You need to be Johnny on the spot here, my friend.
Yes, I will.
All right.
Yeah.
What?
You have to go ahead and refill.
Oh,
Be bartender as well.
Okay, this was not part of my contract.
Yeah, not for you, obviously, but for the other two, so that you can be ready.
You know how bad a bottle of tequila is, or how bad it is going to be. The experience, I mean, when the damn thing doesn't even have like a what's it called?
No, it's not meant to be served this way.
Yeah, no, this is like just like the whole.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to a bar and see that behind.
Okay.
Anywho, getting on to topic 1.
Yes.
A certain movie has been breaking all kinds of box office records.
Which movie, Corey?
I will say, I wish, and you said this in the pre-show meeting as well. Was Corey prophetic about last week's episode title in so many ways. And I do wish that part of me says I wish we could have kept that title for this episode because it would have made a lot of sense. But I don't know, folks. I don't know what this is going to end up being titled. Probably will just be titled, the theme of the episode.
It'll just be the name of this week's episode 6 is what it'll be called.
But yeah, so if you checked out last week's episode, we went on a bit of a tear about a certain movie franchise. And on top of that, we talked a little bit about a mayor. And
we're going to be doing both those same things today.
Yeah, and funny how that worked out. But apparently, given the fact that this movie has now made officially over $2 billion, right? Coming into...
I think it was $2 billion today.
Yeah, I think $2 billion today.
And that happened in 10 days, which is approximately 37 days faster than the number one movie right now.
The number one, yeah. So Avatar has a lead with 2.4 billion, if I remember correctly. Is it 2.4, 2.7?
But like total run.
Yeah, the total run. And this thing has done it in 10 days.
This movie starring Robert Downey Jr. has done it in 10 days as opposed to 47.
Yes.
And by the way, Rob, Patty Wood,
Yes.
laugh out loud. You all right there, Rob?
I am not. I am not all right. I have made many poor decisions that have led me to this point in my life, and I regret all of them. But yeah, so we. Oh shit! What were we talking about?
The movie.
Yes.
movie?
We may have been the last people in the country to see it, who were going to see it. Because
For
we
the
did
first
wait.
time, you mean?
Yeah, for the first time.
Yeah.
Because we waited until we could celebrate Roberto's birthday and all go out together and see it together. And the theater was still packed.
Yeah.
10 days in, theater's still packed.
Oh yeah, it was sold when we purchased the tickets, which was a while ago.
Yeah.
Pretty much almost all the seats were gone, or at least all the good seats.
All bad.
And that was like 2 weeks ago. You okay? You okay there?
Yeah, no. I'm good.
It's just my heart stopping. Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
Okay, we're all right. Still
You want to
ticking.
know where you can find more of these?
All right. Yeah. So the theater was full when we went to buy our tickets.
Which
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4
Which,
weeks ago.
by the way, we do want to talk about our Dolby cinema
Yes.
experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will talk about that.
Actually, let's just start there because first of all, I don't know how easy it was for you guys to find it. It was like the blind leading the blind, and we actually circled the entire theater to come around and find where it was.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like tucked in on the front there,
Yeah,
right by
yeah,
the
yeah.
door, and I just naturally said, "Oh, here's an upward count of numbers in which the number that we're looking for is. Let's go this way."
Yeah.
And we circled around and then realized the numbers started going down again. And I'm like, I feel like did we walk past it? Did we miss it? What's going on? And so we wandered back around, and that's when we realized, oh, it's over here in this special thing. And much like the video that we watched online, in a cute little entryway. I posted a video, a boomerang, on my story on Instagram if anybody wants to check it out. But it really sets a tone from the moment you step into that first doorway about what you're about to experience.
And for people who don't know about the Dolby Cinema experience, a lot of people are probably aware of Atmos, which is Dolby's sort of atmospheric sound design speaker system, where you could hypothetically like hear a bird like flying around the room, going through all the different speakers. In the Dolby Cinema, I think it was like 48 speakers plus like 6 subwoofers or something like that.
Yeah,
5
5
behind the
subwoofers
screen.
in the top, 5 speakers behind the screen, and then you also have tweeters in every seat. Yeah, underneath every seat. So when you get big loud noises like explosions or stuff like that,
like
which
you
was
feel
perfect
it.
for this movie, you feel the vibration.
I will say, though, that one thing I think we missed out on is there wasn't a lot of traveling sounds in it. A lot of the sound was coming at you.
Yeah,
like,
it was projectile.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like while we were sitting there, I was thinking A Quiet Place would have been an amazing movie to see in Atmos.
Yeah.
Because you get that effect of like literally there's nothing else except for the bird coming through or the wind whistling across the screen. And that's what really Atmos is made for. It probably is really good for the other thing I was thinking about is the Jason Bourne series, because that does have traveling explosions where you kind of get that effect of like it starts here and comes across rather than the superhero type where it's all coming at you.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. But highly recommend though the little video they do at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Which
And
you see a version, we
the-
saw a version of, but it's
you
still
did, you did.
amazing.
The other part of it too is not just the Atmos sound, but the dual 4K projectors, which are creating these insane black levels.
Which just to put into perspective, an IMAX theater, or at least like a regular IMAX theater that you can go to on AMC, has one 4K projector.
Yeah.
Whereas this has 2 projectors shooting at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's incredible the amount of
60-foot
detail.
screen.
Yeah.
It's just it's all insane. And
I do want to talk about
the only thing I didn't like though is that where we sat in particular, there was like this little glass partition in front of us that took up a small little bit of the screen,
Yeah,
but it was
'cause
enough
apparently
that
we were
like,
in the emergency exit row.
Well, no,
right?
so I think that one thing that we've learned from the AMC Stubbs A-list, is that the full name?
It's not that hard.
AMC Stubbs A-list. No, because I want to make sure we always get the full title.
Yep.
It's the theater chain, then the program, then the level of the program that we're at. I've been twice. You've been twice.
Yeah.
Corey, how many times you been?
Twice.
That's your twice too?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things we discussed.
You guys
on
saw Shazam though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you would have been 3 times, right?
No, that was the second
No,
one I
this
saw.
was yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you went.
Oh, no, wait. 3. Yeah. Pet Sematary,
Oh, that's
Shazam.
right. You guys went to see Pet Sematary without me, so great.
Aw, poor hurt feelings. But one of the things I think we realized going to Pet Sematary is that we had said, you know what? The only thing available is the front row. Maybe not a good idea. I'm down for the front row after we went into that theater because it's a solid 30 feet from the screen and you're in recliners. So it's not like the traditional theaters where you're like the front row is 7 feet from the screen and you're sitting up straight where you have to like cock
Yeah,
your
I
head
mean,
way
it
back.
would be better for sure, but it's still such a large screen that you want to have some distance away from it.
That's also true. But I think my point there is just like learning the theater experience at this new AMC thing where it's like the first row isn't perfect, but if that was all that was available, and that movie that we wanted to see, which name escapes me now, with Robert Pattinson.
High Life?
Pattinson?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You know which one we're talking about?
No.
High Life, yeah.
High Life, yeah. It's only showing at that one theater and only those one show times.
Yeah.
So I would say I would rather sit in the front row and actually see it than maybe skip it and now it's going to be out next week and we're not going to see it again at all.
The other thing is that, like, just this week with one movie taking up pretty much every single available screen in the country, like, it's hard to... in a normal week, you would have more choices of places to see High Life. But, like, you still wouldn't have that many more choices. But, I mean, like, the ArcLight wouldn't have 10 screens devoted to the latest Chris Hemsworth affair, you know?
But I think that my like overarching point is that I'd be okay with sitting in the front. It wouldn't be perfect, but I'd do that. And now we know in that theater, we don't want row J, we want row G, which is the one right below it. It's as far as high as you can get so that the glass stays below the screen.
Yeah.
And it's not the emergency row where the blue light puts
Yeah,
down on the ground before us. But we've been, we learned that cost us exactly how many dollars to see that movie?
I mean, 24 for the month.
Yeah,
I've already seen 2 though, so
Yeah,
it's
3.
already been paid for before I walked into that movie.
Yeah.
Pretty much. See, and that's the reason for anybody out there who's considering whether or not to get A-list. The number one reason why we decided to go with it is because one ticket alone for going to the Dolby Cinema Theater was $24.
Yep.
Which is literally what the membership is. The only downside is you have to agree to 3 months. But again, like you just said, you've gone 3 times, and this has pretty much paid for itself.
But I mean, like, even with the summer movies coming up too. I mean, like, there's plenty of things in the next 3 months that we're gonna want to see. So, like, John Wick 3.
Yeah. I do.
Once Upon
I
a
want to
Time in
watch
Hollywood.
Godzilla and the Dolby
Sure,
Cinema.
I mean, like, and the great thing about Movie Pass carries on to A-list is that I was way more freewheeling with what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
When I had Movie Pass, it was just like, hey, everyone's going to see The Greatest Showman, and that's probably not a movie I would have paid to see with my own money. But because everyone was going and it was essentially free based off of the subscription service, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So,
Well, and again, you say like, oh, it's almost paid for itself, but with the discounts on the concessions thus far, I think it has paid for itself because it's $1 to upgrade popcorn and soda, and 2 of the 3 times I've been there, I've gotten popcorn. All 3 times I got the soda, so that's $7 altogether.
Yeah.
That's the difference between one $17 ticket and the $23. So I think I paid for all 3 months.
And I did get free popcorn and a
For your
drink
birthday.
for my birthday. Yeah. One last thing, though, I do want to mention about the Dolby Cinema experience, which for me, I think it was one of the most damn, this is some technology here, is that at one point during the intro, where they do basically, they're doing all the show and everything, like showing the colors, and it's all great, but then all of a sudden everything goes to black.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, you just get a simple text in the middle saying, yeah, the projector's still on.
Yeah.
Where it's like almost pitch dark.
Yeah, it looks like they've turned it off, and it's like switching to the next reel, even though it's not really reels. But no, it's still running. It's
Yeah.
projecting black onto the screen. That's how dark it is.
Yeah.
But it was good. But by the way, Godzilla
Yes.
is the kind of movie I think Atmos works
Yes.
for, because it's that projected right to left to right, like noise coming from different directions.
Yeah.
Imagine like, the two monsters running at each other in Atmos. And
You know,
just,
you know what I was just thinking? Can you imagine watching the last Game of Thrones episode?
Yeah.
And Atmos, like the whole thing.
well, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, no TV that we have is going to project the blacks
Yeah.
the way that Atmos
screen
would
could,
have.
yeah.
Or the cinema screen would have. So everybody's complaints about the dark, maybe that should have been their thing. Like, hey, we're gonna just knock out one thing. Monday night, you have a chance to watch it on TV on Sunday, but on Monday, come out and we'll do a special showing at the Abbey. Honestly, I would have paid for that. Obviously, we don't have to, but I would have paid for that. I'll go see it now after the season's over. Let's go see it. It was an hour and 20 minutes?
Give or take, yeah.
It's basically a movie.
Yeah.
It cost $150 million for that one episode.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a movie. Let's go see it at the movie theater. But all that to say, it's an excellent theater, and if you have one near you, which there are like 50, I think, in the country,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's an experience that's very nearly like Corey's favorite movie theater.
And you actually, not only that, but at the AMC in Burbank, you actually went to a little bar that they have there
Yes.
right before the show,
The
right?
MacGuffin.
MacGuffins, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you get?
I just got a
Something regular.
whiskey, yes.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes.
That's the only thing?
That's all I got, yes.
That's
Well,
the
they
only
had
thing
like
that you
fancy
drunk?
drinks for
Yep.
like certain movies and stuff, but
Oh, wait. Buzzer.
Why?
Because he just said drink.
Who did?
He did.
Oh.
Drinks.
Oh, hey.
That is literally what I was trying
You're
to
trying
get
to
you
bait
to
me
say.
into, and I was waiting to you.
I was like,
yeah, I
so
get
what
it.
did you do? Wait, hold up.
What did you get there? Wait, okay.
God damn, where's the buzzer when I need it? All right, well, for anybody listening out there, there you go. There you go, buzzer. So, whatever.
I'm glad we have a referee who's
Yeah.
so on top of it. You just see Trey Mancini like 3/4 of the way to first base, and then finally
There you go.
the strikeout symbol comes up.
And for those of you following along at home,
Yep.
everything's been updated right here on the screen. So, yeah.
Great job not falling into that.
Yeah, I was watching it. The theater aside, though, which again, also one of the things I think Corey and I have been complaining about since the beginning of the podcast has been that like the prices have slowly crept up, but the experience is so much the same. And I think that the last 2 years, actually, we have shown that that's not actually the case. The experience has improved greatly. Yeah, okay. The experience has improved greatly.
Eye level, that's all it needs.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at it. The experience has improved, which was, again, our complaint initially was that, the price keeps going up, but it's still the same old theater experience. But I cannot say that about what we went to last night.
No, it felt. I think there's a thing about like wanting to go and have the experience of something.
Yeah.
And I mean, like when you were a kid, going to the movies and just seeing it on a big screen was like an experience in itself, because
Yeah.
like every TV that you had in your house was just like a little bit, like it wasn't there was no screen as big as a movie theater screen.
Yes.
Even if
Yeah.
it was like one of those dingy 90s dirt theaters.
Right.
But now we have, huge 4K projectors in our house.
yeah.
And it's like,
I was going to say, arguably, the experience that we could have with a nice sound bar and a good TV is comparable to the theaters we went to as kids. Like, if you're sitting middle back, that TV screen is about 70 inches relative to how far back you are, if you're considering how close you're sitting in your own living room. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the size is about the same. It looks way better on the current screens. And you can pause things and go to the bathroom whenever you want, which was not the case, unfortunately, yesterday. And I will say, props to these two for pushing through 3 hours
Without
and
going
20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it.
I prepared myself.
Yeah,
I literally went to the restroom as the first preview started.
Yeah.
Like I did want to see the intro. That was kind of a big thing for me. I wanted to see the Dolby intro, blah blah blah.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
They re-showed it though.
I was
so-
about to leave and go to the restroom, and literally about to walk out the thing. I heard the experience, whatever.
Yeah.
So I literally ran back up, sat down, watched the thing, and then as soon as the first preview came out, the first 2 seconds, it was like, "Yep, I've seen it," and that's when I went to the restroom.
Okay, yeah.
And I not forced myself, but I was
Let me get it
I
out.
was waiting
Emptying
there
it.
for a little bit, trying to like in my mind being like, come on, let's do it, just do it, get it over with. And I did. Like I was able to do it. And when I came back, I just kind of like paced myself with the drink. Cause I did have like a big jug of iced tea or whatever. And I was just trying to pace myself. I did go through the popcorn pretty quickly though.
Lessons learned. When going to a movie that is 3 hours long, cannot get. I know we had said, hey, let's get dinner at the theater. Cannot do that because the salty chicken tenders that I had, the greasy kind of salty chicken tenders, I realized like 25 minutes in, I had down like half that drink, and I'm like, this is gonna be a problem.
See,
this is gonna be a problem.
I feel like
What?
You downed that drink?
Come on.
On top of my game.
I mean, like, listen. It's,
You know what? I think for sure in the first iteration of this show, this annual episode,
Yeah.
I probably would have died if we had a competent referee.
Yes. No. 100%.
Because I think we
sober
missed
referee.
like 4. No, we didn't have a we were self-policing ourselves in the first couple.
And towards the end of the episode, it was a bit of a miss. And we would have missed that one because the reference wasn't being made
To alcohol?
in the spirit of the rule. Yes, you are a cruel taskmaster, and we are following the letter of the rule, even though
right.
the spirit has been abused.
Drink it and update the counter.
Ooh.
Hang on.
Shot cam. There you go.
I could just mute you if you wanted to move it away.
I was a little afraid I was going to choke and spit it.
No, go ahead. Do the whole thing at once.
Well, while Rob's doing that, I'm going to
Yes.
catch him up on what's been happening in the chat. And it's Ashley and Pettywood going back and forth about how Rob is out of practice. I just turned in and talking about can't say that. I have no clue what it is even about, and don't feel left out, guys. Rob had a difficult time with the shot. Laugh out loud. He's losing it.
I think we actually should start talking about Avengers, though. I feel like we have not talked about Avengers at all.
Okay, I want to.
Yeah, no spoilers, of course.
Yeah, no spoilers. I want to say this up front. And this is something that I said last night when we got home. If this whole cinematic universe was a company, it would be like GM or something like that. Because there are so many goddamn people who work for every single one of these movies that over the course of the last 11 years that it's like you have the same number of people who work for you as you would if you were a GM or something like that. And to have consistent products that are so good and that feel like a linear continuation is just incredible. And I think that not enough can be said about the incredible achievement it was just on a logistical standpoint to be able to get from Iron Man to where we are right now. And Feige deserves like a huge part of that. Since the acquisition by Disney, Iger has a huge part to play in it. It's just all around. As far as like, it's so difficult to. People don't understand how difficult it is to just make a movie. Like, if you were to remake Dinner with Andre, where it's just two actors sitting at a dinner table talking, you have no idea how difficult it is to make that seem coherent and usual, and to know how something that you shoot at the end of the day might have to play differently, and how the actors have to attenuate themselves to the situation, even though they don't have a reference point to where they're coming from. Like, it's all outrageously difficult. And the fact that we have this movie at all is kind of preposterous. So just a huge hat tip to all the people in charge of this specific cinematic universe.
Oh, I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
I know.
For
I was watching. Roberto was like looking at my lips moving. Like,
Well, one of the things I just looked up, though, is that Kevin Feige is 45 years old.
yeah.
Right.
Imagine being qualified for a Lifetime Achievement Award
At 45.
at 45. And they're just like, listen, even if you did nothing else for the rest of your life, this
Yeah.
22. I mean, basically, that is a season of television from the 1990s,
Yeah.
right? He's done a series of television that is on average, 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Every episode. And all of it led to the culmination where very much, actually, some of our complaints from last night very much are wrapped up in the idea that if this was a television show that was leading up to the season finale, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
Well,
our complaints are because it was a movie and it doesn't feel that way, but that's kind of how it is.
Here's the other side of that too, though, is that television hasn't been like that for a long time
Right.
either. I mean, it used to be that television was very you never had to see too many shows. You could miss a Happy Days somewhere along the line and just pick up any random episode and know what was going on. As long as you were generally aware of who the characters were, you could watch any Happy Days episode without any kind of pretext.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until the late 90s, early 2000s where television started making more of like an actual serialized run. Because serialized television was really the type of thing that was like soap operas and telenovelas and stuff like that. Like things that were thought of as lesser forms of entertainment. The TV shows that were really successful were the ones that you could literally watch any episode and not have to know anything about it. Law and Order was great like that. Seinfeld was great like that.
Yep.
Cheers was great like that. Gilligan's Island, you could go down a list. But not until like really the late 90s, like ER started doing it and like The West Wing and sort of more procedurals started getting more of like a consistent storyline that follows through the episodes.
They wound it into it a little bit where it's like, yes, every episode kind of stands on its own, but you'll be lost if you don't know that this is where we are in the season arc because there's going to be
at a certain point,
season.
if you didn't watch half the episodes of the season for The Wire, you wouldn't know what was going on.
No idea. Yeah.
Well, you did actually. Did you watch Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some people that didn't have a chance to watch it, but to be fair, I don't think you really needed to watch that one to be able to watch this one.
I mean, I think as long as you know who she is, then you don't have to worry about it. I know how you were trying to get me.
What?
I saw it coming.
What? What are you talking about?
I think as long as you know Brie Larson's character's sort of modus operandi, then you don't have to worry about whether or not like
what I was actually thinking about before I was trying to trick Corey into saying Marvel. Has Kevin Feige been around for all of them though?
Yes.
I don't think he was involved when the first Iron Man came out.
Now he was.
I think, if I remember correctly, I think he only got involved when the first Avengers came out.
He got involved before that, but it was when they started.
he wasn't king of the world at that point.
No.
He was just somebody who was sort of tasked with keeping things in order.
Yeah, again, Jon Favreau back in 2006 was the one who was just like, hey, so I think that our ability to make film has caught up to the point where we can make this character. And oh, by the way, I have the perfectly flawed man who can be this character. He can embody this character. So if you trust me, I think I can make this movie. And it did really well. And then they went from that to, I think the second one was the first Thor movie, if I remember.
No, you mean in the order of the cinematic? No, it was Iron Man and then Captain
2.
America.
Was it?
Yeah, the
I
first
thought they
Avenger.
had two Iron Mans first.
Yes, they did. But I thought there was a Thor. No, you know what it was? It was the Ed Norton Hulk movie.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they did Iron Man 2. So once they did Iron Man 2 and the Hulk movie had flopped, then they were like, okay, well, we're not going to do this. Because, listen, we know what sells. This Iron Man guy sells. Nothing else does. But then after Iron Man 2 is when they did... what?
You said Iron Man.
That's not one of the words.
It is now.
Okay, no, it's not. That's not how this works.
Okay. Whatever.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, great. This is the updates we're going to be getting. Is that video going to continue to where she falls flat on her face on a lime?
No, it was just a boomerang.
I'll just show that one to the emergency room doctor.
Yeah, just so they know what's up. But no, so and maybe they did do Captain America after that. And if they did that, then that's probably them looking at every other comic book universe and saying, hey, our two main heads are the ones we can get away with. Let's stick that out. We can make as many Batman and Superman movies as these idiots will go out and see. But I think that's the point when Kevin Feige came in and said, I think you guys are mistaken. I think that it's the difference between how we made one of them and how they build the Ed Norton movie.
Yeah.
And then he started saying, well, like, look, these two things kind of exist separately from each other, but we can start moving them together. And the first one where it brought anybody together was it was the Captain America movie.
The second one?
Winter Soldier?
No, the next one.
No, Civil War.
Yeah,
Civil War, yeah.
And it was like the first time that any of the, not the first time, but like the main time, the first main time that a bunch of them showed up together. And that was his like proving ground of saying, see, now give me 350 million because I got another idea and we're about to go run with it. And that brought us where we are now. And that 350 million turned into, how much do you think it costs between Civil War and where we are now? Like
700?
No, way more than that.
Yeah.
This one by itself was
Oh, yeah,
350.
true.
So, I mean, we have to be upwards of. They probably spent
billions of dollars.
Yeah, they probably spent 4 or 5 billion. But again, this one has made.
On top of the $4 billion that they spent to just acquire all the property.
Yeah, but again, at what point is that a profitable enterprise? I think we have crossed the point where it's profitable already.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's, oh wait, no, they've made. I saw the thing. It's 22 movies, $20 billion. So
that's
they're
right.
20 billion in now, right?
Yeah,
You're the one who sent that.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, so they're 20 billion in now. So even with the 4 billion to get the property, there's no way they're under that on or they're over that on cost. Their overhead's still way high.
Yeah.
Or their overhead's still way low. Oh, too much tea already. All right.
You're starting to feel it already.
I can't.
Okay. Well,
and I don't want to spoil anything, so that's why I'm like, I'm trying to, let's talk about everything but the actual thing itself. But
let me just get started by saying that I do think it was a great movie, great film, but I feel like the hype was a little more than the actual experience itself. Not to say that it wasn't enjoyable, of course. By all means, it was a great movie and it was all sorts of fun. But again, I feel like everything leading up to this moment, all the marketing and all the commercials and everybody saying like this is the best thing ever. I think it's one of those scenarios, one of those cases in which the hype was a little too much for what you actually got.
I disagree. I think that this movie needed like all it really needed at the end of the day was to make sense. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it did is all that it needed to be the dramatic conclusion to the series that we've been on this whole time, you know? Like
and by the way, like it not only did it make sense, but it wasn't simple. There was a simple way to like kind of I don't want to. So what happens in the very first bit of the first act was a simple way that if what happened didn't happen, that if they'd gotten there in time, that would have been it, right? You guys don't know what I'm saying.
No, I do.
Yeah, there's a simple wrap up, which is, there's a problem, let's go solve it. They didn't do that. They said, let's make this a complicated movie, but also tie up all of this stuff that we have from 22 movies. And brilliant. Done brilliantly, I think. Yeah, I think the problem for people like you, and I use that pejoratively, in fact, Roberto, is that I don't know what you go with. There was no way that the movie itself could have met the hype. That's it. Like, people were hyping it up too much. And I went into it just saying, I want it to be a good movie, and I want it to wrap up everything, and I want us to start phase 4. Is it phase 4 or phase 5?
Yeah, phase 4.
Yeah. Phase 4. Let's get back to the beginning again if we want. You know what I mean? Like let's wrap up all those storylines so that we can start new ones. You know, like that's the best part.
Actually, now that you brought that up, what do you guys think is going to be Do you guys feel like, because I've already read online that there's some people saying that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not going to be the same, and that viewing is probably going to go down a little bit, and it's kind of going to go downhill from here, especially with the fact that they're now going to be focusing more on making TV shows or TV series rather than films with the characters that we already know. Obviously, there's going to be more movies with new characters and all that stuff. But I do kind of get the feeling like it might actually go a little bit downfall from here.
I mean, you have to be okay with that, though. Nolan went in and said, I'm making 3.
Yeah.
3's what you're getting. Sorry, that's the end of it. And we went in knowing there was going to be 3 amazing movies, and that was going to be it. Okay, we knew that this is the beautiful bow on a gift of 22 experiences that we all got to share together, and we all got to talk about.
We knew the last one was going to be set up specifically for the purposes of this one.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there's a lot of like sort of like setting up and then fulfilling that goes on with these movies, and I think that's part of the deal you have with with Disney at this point, you know?
But I think, though, that you're right, that they're going to shift everything that we know now to television. And it'll be shows. And what's going to be
and specifically Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to be in theaters is going to be other stuff that we haven't really thought about. Like you said, that there's Natasha's got a movie.
Yeah.
Oh God. There's going to be
Another Black Panther.
Black Panther 2. We got Spider-Man 3.
Do you think
Captain
we'll ever
Marvel too.
Do you think we'll? Yes.
I do like as soon as it came out of his mouth, he just popped the pen down and was like, all right,
By
well,
the way,
that's
I
that.
like the fact that my pen sticks to my mic stand.
Stop procrastinating.
I like the fact that liquid is going to stick to your insides.
Look at him.
A champ.
Like a champ. Yes. Look at that.
Anyway, but yeah, so we know
I
that
just
there-
I felt it waving goodbye to the people from the shore.
when it hits your lips.
Goodbye, Ireland.
But I know, so
We'll return one day from America.
we know that there are some things that are in development, and I think though they're going to be focusing on all the right things.
Now,
phase 1 and 2 were really like, hey, here's another white guy who can come and save you. And I mean, can we agree that that's what phase 1 and 2 was? It literally was just like, which white guy is going to come and save you? Hey, change of pace. The white guy, he's got a green sidekick. Hey,
you know, I've been listening on a lot of podcasts where they talk about the movie we're discussing. We're at the point now where I got to start thinking about things a little bit harder. And not spoiling, but there's one moment where all the female characters are sort of like seen on screen at once, and it's supposed to be this moment.
Motherfucker,
But-
that is a spoiler.
No, it's not.
No, it's a.
Okay, fine.
But I'm saying, like, it's, and I've been hearing a lot of backlash to that, but at the same time, I want to think that, like, this is also kind of, like, prequeling a little bit of what we're going to have, like, a Scarlet Witch show.
Yeah.
We're going to have way more coming up through the pipeline that is going to sort of talk about how female-friendly this comic universe is as opposed to the competition.
Yeah.
Because DC has Wonder Woman, and that's it.
Yep.
I mean, they do have other female characters. They're just not.
They do,
prominent
but I mean, like,
female
it's not. It
characters.
doesn't matter. I mean, like, you know, Lois Lane isn't fucking ripping the Infinity Gauntlet off or anything like that. You know, I mean, like,
Here's my question though: do you think we will ever get another Avengers?
Yes.
it's going to be different though.
Of course. I mean, it's obviously going to be a different roster or whatever.
No, I mean,
but-
like, it's just gonna. I don't think it happens as soon as you think it does because
no.
it takes so. I mean, like, literally, we're talking about 11 years that it took for us to get from one point to the other. So, I mean, like, say DC decided that they were going to start taking their superheroes seriously and start creating that universe starting next year.
Like Aquaman.
Like they say, all right, sorry for all the trouble we've put you all through, but we have to completely recast and figure out this whole thing.
Yeah.
So everyone who is currently a DC superhero needs to go, and we
Or-
need to figure it out.
Or they follow what we had already figured out, which is just move it to 2119,
See, I
and
don't
the
think
two
that would
guys
work,
who work,
though.
the two characters who work will still be alive.
I don't
And
think
let's
that
use
would work simply because I don't think just
You
imagine the
just gotta
amount
start
of
over
work.
because no, it's just gotta
Yes.
you just gotta start over because
Okay,
you've
so-
already seen like Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman in Justice League,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
all these other characters. So you can't just be like, "Hey, new Superman I've never seen before." Like it's
Well, I mean,
We're
so,
just
but-
keeping the ones that made money. So
in the end, though,
because I mean, people will see through that, and I mean, like it's not quite the same as like Ed Norton and the Hulk and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because. You change one person and you act like nothing different happened. People will forgive you for that, But
oh,
like,
and by the way,
if half your Justice League is different than
They-
the one that was before.
they kept it as canon too, though.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah, no,
in
they
the
did,
in the
yeah.
movie is canon, and they just basically said, "Hey, we're going to change the guy, but P.S. The new guy's not getting a standalone."
Which, by
That's
the
gonna be
way,
the only
how
standalone.
much do you think that Ed Norton regrets
I don't think
not
he-
taking that picture
I don't
deal?
think
at
he
all.
thinks about it at all.
No? Oh,
No.
Well,
There are
I know
people,
Terrence Howard thinks about it and regrets
I
that
see.
shit,
I don't
but-
think so. I don't think so either. I mean, we joked about that. I think last week when we were
Yeah.
talking about it, about having
yeah.
the number 1 show and the number 1 movie in the country at the same time. But I don't think
I,
that
I
it's
think
not
he
his
was
brand.
able. I also think he was able to get Empire because he was free from. Because there's been a lot of discussion, like I heard Scarlett Johansson sort of talk about it, how like it takes over your life to a certain
Yeah.
degree, where you're not as open in your schedule as you think you will be, because you have to shoot these 5 movies that are coming up, and you're like already signed on for the next.
It's a baby.
Yeah.
It's having a baby where it's like, oh yeah, no, I can still go do all the fun things that I was going to do before. Yeah, but not exactly, because you do have to think about this other thing that will be in your life for the next decade.
Yeah.
If you're in for a decade. So keep that in mind until that thing can go and walk off on its little legs by itself.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna kind of be stuck. So I mean, yeah, I think Terrence Howard. There's probably part of him who's like, I wish I could be. Every actor I think wants to be part of that kind of family dynamic where it's like you show up with the same guys.
I'm talking about the money.
Well, I mean, also
fuck the
there.
money.
I think there's also the money and prestige aside. I mean, because RDJ is rolling in it right now. But I mean, like, I think there's also something to be said about being in one of these movies right now, because it says something about how the level that you reach.
Yeah.
Because really, we're talking about Hollywood's A-list stars populating this movie from top to bottom.
It is. It's the new Oceans.
Yeah, and to be considered for it is like saying
they-
that you're a big star.
When they were casting Oceans 2, you know that every leading man was just like, come on. Yeah. They're going to have 13 or 12 of them.
And I mean, like nobody probably thought of it in terms of like Benedict Cumberbatch probably wasn't just like, I hope I get famous enough to be Doctor Strange one day.
No,
but I mean,
but-
like to get to that sort of fame, I guess, notoriety, to be allowed to be in one of these movies is huge.
Yeah,
So-
I think there's far more regret amongst people who were never invited to be part of this show than people
Those
who
who
were
actually get
and
to
rolled
play-
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would probably see more like someone like Affleck more upset.
Yeah.
Which
that he wasn't thought of to be Iron Man, and therefore
Ryan.
which, by the
Ryan
way-
probably is very
Oh,
pissed. Ryan Reynolds.
I mean, he still got to do Deadpool, and
I
that,
know,
that
and-
actually was a pretty
And
big success.
Now, keep in mind, Phase 3. One thing that can happen in Phase 3
True.
is that Phase 4 is that we rebuild everything that should have been done right for the last 20 years.
So
with
like
that
X-Men
franchise.
and
And then bring them back in as part of the bigger family of everything that's going on. And I think you can rebuild. Honestly, they could do now, what First Class did, where they were like back in history. Let's pretend it's 1970 again. They could literally say, hey, it's 2020. And because of everything that happened, human beings start to change because of all of this alien influence. And now we have this whole new thing that starts as of now. And then Phase 3 is just bringing these people back into the fold, and it leads to another build. But we get a cool off period where we don't see anyone we've seen thus far. We see them on TV. We don't see them in movies. We see build this, and then all of a sudden, all of our favorite people start showing up again when they need to. By the way, Kevin Feige, if you're looking for some, a writer or producer, I'm available. I'm just saying I'm available. That was a genius idea I just came up with right on the spot here, and I am available.
Which, by the way, if you guys ever have a chance, or for anybody out there listening, look up some of the actors in Hollywood that were actually considered for many of the roles in the Marvel,
or offered.
And oh my god, like you would find it so interesting. For example, did you know that Tom Hiddleston, which played Loki in all the different movies, he actually originally auditioned for Thor. Yeah. He wanted to be Thor, and when he came into the audition, they literally told him, "No, you're Loki. You are the perfect Loki." And just there's a few out there that you would never imagine. Like obviously, now that you've seen the movies and you've been a part of this universe, you couldn't see anybody else playing Iron Man or Thor or anything like that. But some of these, they're pretty out there.
The thing though is, can you imagine if you were Tom and they said, "No, you're Loki," and you're like, "Listen, I came here for the part that I want. If I don't get that part."
It's also funny, like the number of the listicles I've seen of like who would play who if this was cast in the 90s instead.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and the names on that list are like indicative of what I'm trying to say. Like with the names of the people in today's universe. Yep. Like Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise.
Barbara Streisand would be Black Widow or something like that.
No, that's too.
Never mind.
But James Vanderbeek as Thor. Just because he's like, I mean, honestly, for a second, can you see James Vanderbeek playing Thor?
Yeah,
he was never in the shape that Hemsworth was in, but like he could get there. Right?
I'm sure somebody could push him.
Yeah,
he could have like a military style boot camp.
Money is the only thing that stops you from looking like that. All right, your own personal chef and a guy who's going to kick your ass 8 hours a day in a gym is why we don't look like Chris.
Also,
Hemsworth.
not having to afford, like not having to go to a day job to afford your lifestyle. Like
also that part.
That helps a lot. Like when you can just wake up at 6 and not have to worry about getting to your desk job afterwards. Like
yeah.
So
your job is literally to go eat right and go to the gym so that in 7 months you're ready for this thing. Or, if you're Christian Bale, to drop 70 pounds and then shoot one movie and then put on 100 pounds and go shoot another movie because you're a genius.
Because
and I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we're already going long. Yeah. Let's cut a little bit and just cut to the next topic.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping we'll get to more words.
Yeah. So Corey, what's the next topic on the agenda here?
Well, for the second time in 10 years, essentially, we've had a mayor of Baltimore resign in disgrace.
Which mayor? Which was the first one, first of all?
So the first
Sheila
one,
Dixon.
And then we made a lot of fun. Oh, yeah.
Why did she resign?
Yeah.
She stole gift cards intended for the poor.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
you know what? That's actually surprisingly somewhat similar to the situation now. It's things that you wouldn't have necessarily thought of as being the one thing that just pushed it off the edge type of thing,
It's all corruption though. It all just comes down to corruption. But yeah, so then we made a lot of hay with Stephanie Rawlings Blake.
Yeah.
And how she probably should have resigned at some point.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't. She just ran it out.
Famously, the slogan around here was "Do your job or quit."
Yes.
So
also, I believe that.
Oh wait, sorry. No, actually, that was a real buzzer though, because I think that we should have a shot in between the change of topics. Otherwise, this is not gonna get any more interesting. Come on. All right, we got the intermission shot.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I mean, you put him in charge. So this is
you put me in charge.
Oh my God, this is not part of the rules that we agreed upon.
Exactly. But y'all are doing too well for 45 minutes into the podcast. So let's just have an honorary change of topic shot for all of those of you watching.
Can I just say something to make this shot worth it?
All right.
Not have to take another shot.
Okay.
Do you agree to this principle? I I want an agreement in writing before I take it.
All right, fine.
All right. So just for the audience sake, because I'm going to be taking a shot anyway, we're talking about Catherine Pugh right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just watched him. It was naked.
Oh lordy.
Yep.
Continue.
This is where it starts getting problematic.
Let me just play some intermission music. Dun, 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 dun.
You guys could
Girl
continue.
from
I need a minute.
Iwo Jima.
Yeah, girl. Iwo Jima? Ipanema.
I need
The
a
girl
moment.
from the war, from Iwo Jima.
You guys go
I'm
ahead.
not supposed to be responsible for that sort of thing.
All right.
Are you dead now?
No, just go ahead. I'm working on it.
So Catherine Pugh.
Yes. She resigned in disgrace.
Why?
Because the people said.
because she
People
was
snap
making
their fingers.
She was making money off of books that she may or may not have actually provided for the
See, but
Also, that she, may or may not have.
other
actually
side,
written.
brother.
She may or may not have actually written.
Yeah.
you did bring up an interesting point last week, though, where you said, if she had, or whatever, her team had advised her to just be like, oh, I guess, I didn't mean it to, this wasn't the intention, but let me just take all the money that I made and donate it. You know what I mean? Like, there were options, there were things that she could have done, but I feel like she didn't really fight it,
Well, so there's some parallels that can be made between her and the current president of the United States.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Thanos.
No. There's some places that could be made comparison. Mostly in the fact that they're both very sure that they're right and everyone else is wrong, and they think that people are picking on them, and that if they bully their way through, then they'll be okay in the end.
Yeah, she
And-
basically took a stance that was like, I'm not going to be here for you to kick around anymore.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I really, I think her problem. I think her problem was.
I feel like we're at that point where it's taking him a couple seconds longer
Just
than usual
considering,
to put everything together, put the thought together.
Well, the problem is that the words are kind of blurry and moving side to side, so it's a little bit hard to grab them. No, I think that her problem is that she doesn't have the part of herself that can be like self-deprecating or like a little bit like aware or anything like that. Like she just thinks that she's always right and that everyone else is ganging up on her and nobody knows as well as she does. And that kind of attitude, especially when you get in trouble, is not something that's looked upon kindly, as Rob dies slowly.
Did she actually author the books though? Like,
I mean,
were they under
yeah,
like literally
it's,
whatever story by Catherine Pugh?
Yes.
It's written that way, yes.
That's what the cover of the book says. Yes.
Okay.
Unlike my books though, she may or may not have paid someone
By Rob's books.
to. Yeah, thank you. She may or may not have actually paid someone to
Write the books.
Right, but we know for sure that she paid someone to illustrate them.
Yeah.
Who she then never actually paid for his work. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
there was also the this happens in Hollywood too a lot, where it's just like, you know what? If you give us your illustrations for a little bit of a discount, then we'll make sure you get a little price of every book that's sold. We'll give you a little back end.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh wow, that sounds great. The potential mayor is going to give me back end on her book. Yeah, sure, I'll sign up for that. And then just month after month, it's like, sorry, no copies were sold. Then all of a sudden, you hear about $500,000 worth going to University of Maryland Medical Center, and you're just like, huh.
Feel like
every
probably call someone
every single
right now.
month I called up asking about the P&L statement.
yeah, and then
I got a whole lot of no books were sold this month.
Then
Sorry.
you're the illustrator, and you're very upset about that. And then the criminal sanctions start, and you're like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need anything. What? Me? No, I never got a dime for it. Thank you.
See, I really think that the former mayor's problem was that she at any point could have just sort of like laid on her sword a little bit and apologized halfway and could have gotten out of this whole situation without having to resign.
Isn't that kind of what she has done in several different occasions before?
No.
Where she just kind of like talked her way out of it? Sort of like
No,
another
on one
political
occasion,
figure?
on one occasion, she rode a Lime scooter away from it.
Oh, yeah, I
She
saw
didn't
that.
talk her way out of it.
Man, some of these things are way too unbelievable.
The level of corruption in Baltimore is unlike almost anything. Like Chicago is the only other place in the world where corruption, at least in America, where corruption rises to that kind of level.
Chicago is a super fun city where you can run for the mayor on a platform making fun of the last guy for being corrupt and then eventually be indicted for corruption yourself.
Yeah.
That's a special kind of
And
corrupt
Illinois in
state.
general, with just like Blagojevich
Oh,
and
yeah.
all the other governors who got indicted for different things. I think that if Pugh had... Fuck.
Yeah, buzzer.
Yeah.
She had a press conference up front where it was basically like, you all ain't taking me down on this nonsense. Like, you're not bringing down me on this shit.
So,
And then
just to be sure, Baltimore is a drink the thing. You know,
I'm
don't-
listening to you.
No, you can drink while you
Yeah,
listen.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so just to be sure, Baltimore is a red state.
No.
Oh,
No, literally every single person in the city council is Democratic.
However, the state itself, the state of Maryland, currently does have a Republican governor.
okay.
But it's
But
not
a very
really
moderate
red.
Republican
Yeah,
governor.
yeah.
But in the past presidential election, who won the state?
Oh,
Hillary, Obama, Kerry, Clinton.
Oh, wow.
no. There was a what was his name? Environment guy. Gave the PowerPoint presentation. Has the movie.
Al Gore?
Gore. There's a Gore in between.
Yeah.
There's a Gore there. Kerry, Gore, Clinton, Dukakis.
Yeah. No, did Reagan won?
No,
though.
Reagan did win. Yeah, Reagan
so
won in
Reagan would have
84.
been the last Republican who ran for president that had won
Yeah.
Maryland.
P.S. He won every state except for Minnesota.
49 of them.
Yeah, except for Minnesota, the home state of the candidate he was running against. No, but Dukakis was running against Bush,
Yeah,
the first Bush. So it probably did go to Dukakis.
probably. Yeah.
Don't be looking at me. I don't.
Nah, we're deep in the political weeds now. Clinton, so it would be. Let's go back. Wait, Clinton. Clinton.
Let's go all the way back to Lincoln.
Clinton, Obama, Kerry, Gore, Clinton, Dukakis, and then Reagan.
Yeah.
So that would have been 9 times the state went.
9 out of 10, which seems about right.
Yeah.
That
How
seems
close was the race the last time, though?
not anywhere reasonably close to. It was
It's
called
California.
within seconds of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maryland is California.
Of polls closing, it was called within seconds. That's basically how Maryland. It's the same exact thing as California.
All they need is Howard, Montgomery, Prince George's, and Baltimore counties.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Once they know anything, any kind of guesstimate on those 4, everything else doesn't matter.
Okay.
If there's something really unusual that's happening, like if a Democrat is winning heavy in the Eastern Shore,
Yeah.
then they don't need to pick up PG County as much, kind of thing. But that's sort of like weird.
But if
More often than not, they're just calling that anyway.
let's say in 2020, the current executive was to be doing very well in Prince George's and Montgomery, then they might say, okay, wait, if he's doing that well in these 2 counties, we can't call the state yet because in the East and in the West, he's going to do very well. And if he's doing well in the middle too, who knows? And given the current state of our country, who knows?
A message, by the way, from Roxanne.
Yes.
We agree with the intermission shot. So
About time. There you go. So Pugh, what was Pugh? I don't even.
Mayor.
She's the mayor.
No, I know that, but
She was a
Democrat?
council president.
Democrat. Who did she run against?
Sheila Dixon for one.
Yeah, there's that. Really,
DeRay.
Oh no! Well, no. She eventually ran against a Republican in November.
Yeah, but I mean, like
The Democratic race is
completely
race, though.
honorary election.
Yeah, the Democrat I think got 7,000 votes, and she got like 70,000.
I still think there's a place to be had for a wily Democrat to just run as a Republican and just like put out TV ads and Facebook ads going like, "Hey, I'm running as a Republican." But you may remember me as Sheila Dixon, former Democratic mayor of Baltimore.
I mean,
So,
honestly, though,
when you go to your polling place for the primaries, make sure you vote for Sheila Dixon, Republican, and then when the general election comes around, remember to vote again for Sheila Dixon, Republican, for mayor.
and
For which I
that's-
will quickly change everything. As a Democrat, as soon as I don't feel dirty inside it anymore.
one of the things that we talked about back in the election that year when DeRay was running, and Elizabeth Embry and
Warnock,
and a bunch of those people.
Carl
is that,
Stokes.
There was a place where several of those people could have, I mean, David Warnock in particular, could have probably just said, I'm going to run as an independent to the general. DeRay obviously probably could have done that as well. Just run
Yeah.
as an independent to the general. And then after the field was cleared, because there were like 9 candidates for mayor on the left, after the field was cleared out a little bit, you might do better by picking up some moderate Republican votes and some just like anti-votes. People who are just like some that Clinton mentality of I'm not voting for her. Who else is there?
Yeah.
And in Baltimore, it was like, oh, there is nobody else. Okay, I'm not going to vote. But if some of these leftists had run in the center,
Traditionally speaking, the turnout for the general election for mayor is so low.
Yeah.
That like you really don't have to worry.
it's running the off
The
years.
50 diehard Republicans who are going to vote regardless are going to get swallowed up by all
Yeah.
the people voting in the presidential election, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean,
Well,
like,
no, because it's in the off years. So it's not in the presidential year. It's not in the governor's year.
It's 2020.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well,
So
good.
who's going to take power now?
Well, Jack Young is the mayor right now.
Yeah.
As soon as
Interim mayor.
mayor.
Now that she stepped out.
Yeah, now that she stepped down, he's
permanent.
officially the mayor.
Yeah.
The second she technically signed the resignation letter,
Which,
he became mayor.
By the way, Baltimore, can we talk about this? How you can't take down a mayor unless they're convicted of a crime?
Hold on. I want to come back to something I've said before. And I think now more than ever is the perfect opportunity for this. I've talked about a take your medicine mayor.
Yeah.
Jack Young has no interest in being mayor.
No.
He's going to do it because he is a loyal soldier and he's the next in line and he feels like it's his duty to be mayor, but he really doesn't want to be mayor.
His deal has always been being a check on the mayor.
Yeah,
I am a loud voice.
He always wanted to be city council president.
Yeah,
He will go back to being city council president once 2020 rolls around.
Yeah. But
In the meantime, this is the perfect opportunity to have the take your medicine mayor that I've been discussing so long right now. Think about it. Somebody who doesn't have to worry about the political repercussions of what he does, and he can just do things that are best interest for the city moving forward. There's no worries about people saying like, oh, he's doing this from a politically motivated place. No, he's doing things because he has to clean up a horrible mess immediately. So you were talking about how there's nothing that could have been done to remove the former mayor from her post prior because of the way that the statutes of the city were written, right?
Yeah.
So now's the perfect opportunity for Jack Young to be able to say, hey, we're going to change this.
Yeah. By the way,
And
a guy who also has...
I'm not using any of my political capital to do it because everyone agrees this is a wonderful idea and we're just going to do it.
Yeah, and
this
he's got-
now is the perfect opportunity for Jack Young to say, hey, I don't know if everybody knows this, but we have a humongous public infrastructure problem, and literally roads are going to cave in around us if we don't fix it right now. Nobody has the balls to tell you about it because they never wanted to be responsible for paying the $2 billion bill for fixing all the roads. But I'm going to do that because that's what we need right now. You know?
And he has a Lyndon Johnson level of support, which is I came from the legislature and my support remains in the legislature. So I can make they're good decisions, but not politically great decisions because I know I get the backing of the legislature when I send my ideas.
But it's not even
there.
like he has to pick off Republicans either. He has carte blanche to do what he wants right now. And if he was, I would honestly say that he is the martyr that Baltimore needs right now to be able to take care of all the problems that nobody ever would spend their political capital to fix.
Well, because in the end, he can go back to his he can go back to his district and get reelected as a councilman. It doesn't matter; they will always send him back.
Okay, so how is it that the mayor of Baltimore was able to be impeached in a sense?
She wasn't.
Well,
she was not
in a sense.
No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't at all.
Okay, she resigned. Whatever.
Yes,
but. What I was saying, how is it possible that happened because of books? Even though she had done way more, inconspicuous things in the past.
Well, but you say it was because of books, but it wasn't because of books.
I mean, it was because of corruption.
The books opened up everything else, like repairs on her house and the fact that she owned 2 homes in the same very expensive neighborhood that were 1 block away from each other. Like all of these things compiled on top. And then it was just like, how much do you want people looking into your life? Because all you have to do is walk away and then nobody gives a fuck. I mean, well, the FBI still will, very much so. But no one in the city cares.
I still wonder if there was some sort of like, hey, if we just resign now, can we avoid the
investigation?
The Spiro Agnew approach of I'll resign for this office and just say like, hey, I'll resign now just so we can get it over with. But just keep in mind you're not filing any charges against me because I decided to quit. And
I'll quietly, Cuban Missile Crisis style, like I'll quietly pay back what is owed over the next 5 years, and so long as I do that, no charges, right? And then she's done and out.
I'm still like, what's so interesting to me about this whole thing? Like Ralph Northam, we talked about with the blackface scandal, Virginia governor, right? He went out there. He immediately said, I apologize. That was really stupid. I don't know if that was me or if it was my friend who was in blackface, but either way, it was inappropriate. Then he tried to do inappropriate things like moonwalk in front of interviews. But then he was just like, but then he shut the fuck up. And he got the hell out of the way. And all that was being reported was he apologized.
Yep.
And over time, the calls for him to step down became less and less until eventually we're where we are now, where everyone forgets the fuck that Ralph Northam has a blackface photo and he's just Virginia governor again.
Yep.
So Pugh could have gone up there. God damn it!
Yes. Yes, I was waiting for it.
Could have gone up there and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't think what I did was wrong. I thought it was a opportunity based off of this is something that happens in business a lot. I feel like it's an ethical line that maybe I crossed, but I'm sorry. I apologize. Please don't, have the, this isn't indicative of who I am as a person. And she could have moved on from it all. But instead, she goes up and has a press conference where she's just like, you motherfuckers trying to bring me down. I was going to say it again. All you motherfuckers trying to bring me down. It ain't happening today. It ain't happening never. That was the problem. She went up there and she was just as combative as fucking possible, trying to sell children's clothes to reporters.
Oh, that was the worst. By the way, you think that it's
By the way, all those stories, like, I really don't know where to stand on her whole pneumonia now either, because like
all of a sudden she was okay.
I remember hearing stories about from Francho and stuff like that, where like it's just like, what do you think of her pneumonia? And he's just like, yeah, right, whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then like I'm hearing like Mary Pat Clark or whatever going like, no, she was nearly dead. Like
did seem to recover rather quickly.
I know. Cheers.
Like Corey just did.
over you.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Don't worry. I will persevere.
But she did seem to become okay very quickly. That's what I'll say.
I don't know if she's okay. I'm just saying, like, it would have been nice to actually see her at the press conference, even if she quietly sat in a wheelchair in the back of the room or something like that. Just to physically be there would be a wonderful.
Put on a bit of a show. Yeah, put on a bit of a show that says, "Hey, I'm here," but
No, I mean,
I'm
like,
clearly ill.
it's smart from a legal standpoint to not have her say or do anything right now, because if like the lawyer goes out and says, "I'm sorry for anyone who I might have hurt or for damaging the opinion of the mayor of Baltimore," like that was a very well crafted statement that completely works from him, but not from her.
Well, I mean, the thing that you could do is that you could just wheel her out there, and then she's like, I'm sorry that I don't think she can manage anymore.
I can't continue talking like this.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. But okay, so where are we on El Tiempo, if you would?
What?
Time.
Oh, I have no idea. I thought you were keeping.
Oi, I didn't know I was in charge. No, so this is not right though, because we had technical difficulties for that. I think we are there. We are well over.
Are we good?
We're well over there. At least 115 at this point. So
Okay, we need to get
we're good.
two
Yes.
more topics.
no, what? No.
What do you mean?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Fine.
Yeah, because what's left is, hey, here, let's summarize. Guy lied a lot. We knew he would. He lied for a liar.
Wondering whether or not to press charges against said liar for lying.
Yep.
Might not be politically fruitful. Moving on.
That's it. By the way, do a little bit of study into the 3rd century of Rome, and all this has been covered already. History just repeats itself. It's just ridiculous nonsense. So,
By the way, we've had conversations in the past about Rob the lawyer, talking to police and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of our current attorney general talking to Congress in a similar manner, and it's kind of shocking that this hasn't ended up with like charges. Oh God, what is it? Contempt. Yeah.
Contempt of Congress. Yeah.
It's just like
Very surprising, actually. Yeah.
We know you just testified for the Senate yesterday, but we'd like to come and have you talk to the House Judicial Committee for a day. How do you feel about that, Mr. Attorney General? Fuck you! All right, well, I don't know how to break that stalemate.
By the way, I was giving a presentation to my staff on Friday, and there was something in there that, God, it was just like, someone said, "Oh, so you mean like we should just basically do what we do when we deal with the police?" And without thinking, I was like, "No, fuck the police." I mean, anyway, moving on. And everybody just broke out laughing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, when you accidentally let your politics go a little wild at work.
Very unprofessional.
Very unprofessional, but also, like, after it, I got a little bit of, like, from some of the staff, I got a little bit of, like...
Respect.
Yeah, yes. Very much so. What's it? Fornicate the constabulary. Yes, indeed. Yes. But no, I had a little talking to, so I was giving an HR presentation, and then I had to have a little talking to by the HR person who was like, listen, so like, yeah, I mean, I know what your politics are. It's totally fine, but just maybe not with the shouting, fuck the police.
That might have been a little too much.
In the midst of your HR presentation, probably not. Totally. I was like, I know. They caught me off guard.
Especially talking about the part where what happens if an armed gunman comes in here and we have to call the police?
Because what I said is, I want you all...
It's inappropriate that when we're in the middle of an armed standoff, I stand up when the police walk in and go, fuck the police!
Do you have a warrant? So, what I said was, I hope that you all feel that you can come and talk to me about anything, and if you... I don't care if it involves you. If you see something going on with someone else, please take the time to come and just bring it up to me. And someone was like, oh, you mean like if you see something on the bus or the train, you should say something to the police officer. And I was like, no, fuck the police. But if you see, I mean, if you see something here, then yes, you should say something to me. It's like, but you know what? When your beliefs are so deeply held that you don't think twice about saying shit like "fuck the police" to the 80 staff members that you have who all look up to you. So,
Comment from Rachel. I just hope I don't walk into Corey hugging the toilet.
What do you think this is? 2018?
You know what? To be honest, we've so far we've kept it mighty respectable. I'd like to say.
I think so. I think
we've
it's a
gotten
nice.
much better at doing this show.
Yes. Still kept it entertaining.
You know what? Oh my god! No, I'm not gonna say that out loud. I was gonna propose an awful idea.
Okay.
Please propose.
Intermission shot. All right.
propose.
No, it's the end of the show.
Please.
So, no.
Okay,
What's
another
your
shot.
idea?
Another show shot.
What's your idea? Propose your idea.
What's my horrible idea?
Yes.
We oh my god. No, I'm not. This is.
It's fine. We're
All right.
You're in a safe space. This is just between us. It's fine.
I want if anyone wants to see this, I'm gonna throw the gauntlet down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw the infinity gauntlet down. Anybody who would want to see this in future episodes of the podcast, of this annual episode of the podcast, has to like this the Twitter post for this episode.
Yeah.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Can we give an arbitrary number of likes to 20 likes to the?
How about 20? It shouldn't be. I think the problem though is.
Wait. Well, what are we trying to do? 20 likes for what?
I'm just saying we won't even approach this idea unless we get 20 likes on
The idea
this
you're about
week's-
to propose.
Yeah.
And I
okay,
think
I
the
see what you're
difficulty is a lot of the people who listen don't actually have Twitter accounts. Some of the people you've named in the chat right now do not have Twitter accounts.
They have Twitter accounts they don't use.
I mean, yes, they have Twitter accounts they don't use, but it's going to have to be like, I got to figure out the password.
How about we make it then? How about we make it I forgot the word, but basically combining the likes from Twitter and Facebook.
Hold on a second.
I'm down.
No, I got this. Any social media that you follow us on, if you give me the chef giving the kiss emoticon, the like mwah, like say magnifique, then I will count it towards it.
Okay.
The idea being, oh my god, this is horrible. That we have topics, but not the words put out ahead of time.
Okay.
So.
We have to figure them out as they go along?
No. Say like we're talking about a conflict at the border, right? That's going to be one of the topics we're talking about in that current week.
Yeah.
We don't know what the magic words are prior to going in. And then all of a sudden, we're just talking and going through. And it's like, what did I just say? And then it's like you're living on... Because right now, I can do a pretty good job of managing myself to not say the words. But if I don't know the words are coming...
I will agree to these terms. But we cannot do full
shots,
baby shots.
Yeah. It's gonna have to be a measured amount.
It'll be like a 20.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking at a much higher number on that one. So I think we should keep it in check. Yes,
okay,
I'm down with that.
All right.
So we need 20. We need 20 verified.
So for the
emojis.
7th edition of this podcast.
Yes.
All right.
P.S. Oh my God, we started. I cannot even spell correctly, and I don't think this was. I'm being under the influence of anything. I just misspelled stuff on the. Okay.
All right. Well.
Wait. Before you do that, are we closing it out?
Yes, we're closing it out.
I thought you were going to talk about Cinco de Mayo.
No. We are out of time and we're out of patience.
All right,
but
fine.
is it? Roberto has to be the one who calls it and ends the game.
Okay, you still need to take the ending shot though.
Yeah, that's what I had heard you say that, and I'm fine with doing that. We could take a last one, but you have to officially.
Wait,
this is the ceremony.
Are we done with all the topics?
Yes, we're
Are
done.
We sure?
Yes.
Can we go through the list real quick?
No, we're gonna wrap it.
Just go through the list.
Wrap
real
it
quick.
up. We're wrapping
Tell me what
up.
it was.
No, we're wrapping it up. But I need you to officially call it done.
Do you guys not want to talk about anything else?
Okay.
Call it done, and then I'll
Turn
run
it-
through the list.
Yes.
Avengers, Endgame,
we
anything
did
else?
that.
No. What about the president? Wait, who's the president again?
All right.
Fine,
For more
I'm calling
information-
it. I'm calling it.
Give us a. No,
Wait.
such a.
There you go.
And
All right, there it is.
it's
All right,
over.
wait. Salud.
Sláinte.
Lancha.
Hey.
God, I hate every single time we do this.
Yep.
It was your guys' idea.
We shouldn't have come up with one episode a year where we do based off of drinking,
We were much younger
especially
men.
tequila.
We were much younger men when we started this idea.
We were a mere 30 years old.
We were 29. We were in our 20s. Well, all right. Yeah, go ahead and.
Yeah. If you want to enjoy the O The Anthem website the way it is for one last time, you know where you can go?
Where's that?
OTheAnthem.com. Corey to OTheAnthem.com. O The Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the listener line 443-219-7595.
Oh, wow.
What's that number again?
443-219-7595.
Hang on.
What's the number yet again?
443-219-7595.
Wow. Okay.
I'm fixing some things. Hang on. Okay. I'm working real slow right now. I can't.
Everything's at half speed at the
Everything
moment.
is at half speed. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. You're up. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If you want more of me, you can find me at my website, CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com. I have a review from Pet Cemetery up right now, followed by a review of Avengers coming up this week. I can finally say that again because we are out of the game. So,
And there will be spoilers or no?
so how I plan on doing it is first half of the episode sort of talking about it as like a movie making experience and not doing spoilers, and then spoilers at the very end.
Okay.
Kind of like how we discussed, like maybe talking
Next week,
about
yeah.
Avengers next week. Like we might do it at the very end of the episode as a spoiler-rich conversation.
I hate my life. I don't want to die.
Every year I get that one.
Okay. Roberto,
But other than that, at LegendsCB5 on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, and Corey Baker Film on Facebook.
go ahead, Roberto.
Okay, you can find me on all my social media accounts: Instagram, Facebook, RTOAZN, and I think I'm on Snapchat. I don't know. I don't check it, so don't even bother. Instagram and Facebook is probably the ones. RTOAZN, where you can find all the my
And
updates.
Instagram,
That's what I said. Isn't that what it is?
Facebook, and Twitter.
Oh, sorry. Well, Twitter too, actually. But there you can find all my updates on the things that I'm working on. I have a couple of things coming up soon, so stay
Roberto
tuned.
is what we like to call a working actor. So if you're interested in that sort of thing,
Yeah.
feel free to check it out.
Yeah. But yeah, happy birthday to me again.
And happy
happy
birthday to
birthday,
Roberto.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Dead. Look at that shit.
All right. you can find more from me at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you check. Okay, no, the website doesn't work anymore still.
WordPress, bro.
At Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks.
Don't you
Why,
fucking
there's,
dare.
There is no, need for
no,
this.
no.
There's definitely no need for this.
Yes, no. Come on. I'm taking one too. I am
You can
taking
take
one
one.
too. No. All three of us. Come on.
No, we're
Give
done.
me the shots.
You can find more of me at Robert N. Cheek on all your
Sorry,
social
they're too
networks.
far away now.
And make sure that you check out Robert N. Cheek on Amazon, where you can find all my books, including the most recent one, which is finally up, although not in printed yet, just in ebook. But
Christopher says happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. Look at Christopher.
put the cap on that motherfucker right now, please. Put the cap on this thing. Thank you.
I grabbed my fucking dial. That's up.
The train is just off the tracks right now. All right,
Wait,
Corey.
Who's going to take this shot? Come
No,
on.
you're gonna take that one.
You're gonna do that one, birthday.
Corey,
boy.
do you remember? You're out.
Bye, Rob folks.
No, we've already passed that. Go ahead, Corey. What is the last thing you need to say?
I think we've done good here today.
We've done something. It certainly is not good. But as always, you're listening to the O The Anthem podcast, part of the O The Anthem digital network. For Corey and Roberto, this is Rob. Have a good week, everybody.
I regret this every year.
I don't know why.
Every year we do it. I don't understand it.
All right,
Somebody
we gotta stop
still
this.
has to
We
take
gotta
this
stop
shot.
this. No, we're not doing that anymore. Have a good week, everybody.
Exhausted.
My body is weary.
No, for real. Who's going to take this motherfucker?
You're gonna take it. You
No.
poured it.